Hey guys, I'm FatBuddyCat, and this is my custom vintage mini bike. Today, we're after one thing, and that is the carburetor. Currently, we have Mikuni VM22. We're going to be swapping it out for a Wildcat WC22. They're both 26mm round slide carbs. They're just set up a little bit differently. First thing we got to do is get the Mikuni off there. This intake is flexible. This is high heat silicone. Inserted into it is another half of a regular VM22 manifold. I'll get it apart and I'll let you see what I'm talking about. We're going to be using the cable that's already installed on the mini bike, so I'll just take this cap off. I'll pull the slide out and I'll get everything off there so that I have a bare end on my cable ready to receive a whole nother setup. Now, making sure my fuel is turned off, I'm going to disconnect the line going to the inlet. I have a container here to drain my excess fuel into. That way I don't make a mess. With the fuel line disconnected, the throttle out, we can now loosen this ring clamp and take the carburetor and manifold off as one. With the carburetor and manifold in my hand, I'm now going to empty the fuel from the carburetor. You can see it coming out there. Once that's empty, we get up to the workbench. Now I'm going to remove the manifold from the carburetor. I put the needle, the slide, the spring, the cap, everything that goes with the VM22 back on it. Put this one to the side and we'll use it on something else later on. I have the WC22 cap, spring, slide, and needle ready to go. Since we're dealing with a flexible manifold and this thing vibrates a little bit, I made up a cork gasket to go between the rigid manifold and the carburetor. I use that with the gasket that's already on there to ensure a good seal no matter what. I'm going to get this thing put back together. There we are. One big happy unit again. I'll just slide that into the end of the silicone tube. Push it in as far as it'll go. Bring my ring clamp back and I'll tighten her up. Overflow, fuel line, throttle cable. I added an air filter, and now we're good to go. carburetor is casted and factory tuned for the GX200 Predator 212 on a small block engine. I believe they're going to include the stock on the 228. they say there's a first time for everything. Well, it looks like we finally made enough power to blow the brakes clean off our mini bike. I actually don't even think that's the case at all. When you're running maximum acceleration and top speed test over and over, eventually something's gonna give. Even without a top speed run, I was able to make a few observations while riding this bike. The WC22 provided improved acceleration and a smooth, strong delivery. We had less hesitation and better throttle response. We're running a 7,000 RPM cam, and the Wildcat carb can support up to 9. With that smooth, continuous feed and constant build in RPM, we're able to use everything she's got. Okay, maybe it wasn't quite everything, but we're going to need a new brake band before we try and find out. Because as always, it's a work in progress. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.